Um, it's pretty difficult and complicated to be schizoaffective, and having the disorder, I learned in 2019. I believe I was 27 years old, and that's when I learned that I have schizoaffective disorder. In the beginning, I accepted everything. I didn't complain after I got on medication, because when I first got on medication, I just was all over the place and the medication wasn't working. So once I started becoming more sane, I realized I really need to. I accept my diagnosis, and I really need to um, stay on medication. And it's a difficult 7 years, and I've gone through so much because of my schizoaffective disorder, but who's always been here for me is my family, and they've been wonderful in figuring out, how to keep me on medication when I do have an episode. But yeah, it's gnarly. It's just like how I had somebody, an aunt of mine, tell me, just push through. You don't need medication. And no. Telling everybody now, if you're watching it, medication, medication, medication. You have to take medication in order for you to be sane. It is crazy how some people don't really, rely on medication, or they have these weird side effects and they no longer want to take them. I'd say if you have weird side effects, kind of push through and tell your psychiatrist. I've had weird side effects on my on certain medications, and I just push through for it to kind of like settle within my body, and it's been wonderful that way. Um, well, it's really hard to be schizoaffective. For those of you who don't know what don't who you don't know, if you don't know what it is, it's schizophrenia with major depression, and it's either major depression one or it's schizophrenia with bipolar disorder. Either it's type 1 or type 2 for the bipolar disorder. And I don't know exactly what mine is. I'm schizoaffective, and I'm unspecified, so I don't know which what mood disorder I am right now. I do talk a little weirdly. I am kind of a little weird. I stay quirky. I'm quirky, and I am just trying to figure out life. Having this illness has kind of made me realize why I was a certain way. Like in middle school, and in my pictures, you could tell that my face. From school pictures, you can tell I'm just not enjoying anything, and I was quiet and shy, and I didn't really speak my opinion, and thought it was, unnecessary to. But I really think it has affected me since I was in 7th grade. Once I hit puberty, I think that the symptoms of schizoaffective disorder were already kind of arriving in. And throughout my years, I became more paranoid. Throughout my years, I became more I became more paranoid. I started to overthink in a bad way, and just it became too much of everything I was doing. And I had a mental breakdown after my ex-husband. We were together for 5 years. Ended up married for 4, so we were together in total. Sorry, for 9 years. The 5 years was when he saw something. There was something happened when we hit our 5-year mark, and it made me go into a mental breakdown. And afterwards, I stayed with him because I was safe and sound, and I forgave him. And because I forgave him, we stayed together for another 4 years, and we married. But to be honest, they're not regrets, because I don't regret my life. I love myself now, and I love myself in the past. I see, that part of me just healing to be a part of this person. So I want her to be out of the trauma that she was in me. So when I was in these traumas, with myself and whoever else, whether I was the one traumatizing or whether they were traumatizing me. I want those memories from the past to go over and figure out how to accept them, even if I didn't do it, how to accept myself from not doing anything in a traumatic episode. And that's kind of like what I'm doing right now is healing the past and for the present and forevermore the future to be more healthy. And it's been working with this medication. I have Uzedy, and it's on the arm or the stomach. I get the arm. It's been working out pretty great. Uzedy works. Since it's a shot, it's 30 days of it works for 30 days. Then I have to get an injection again. Let's see what else. You just go crazy. You try so hard without the medication to never go crazy. You try so hard to be logical and try so hard to have life be logical, but no matter what, the paranoia takes over, the overthinking takes over, your logic just goes out the window, and you're in this really weird type of scenario of all these voices telling you you're going to be murdered or you're going to be raped or you're going to be tortured in either one. And, all my safe places became non-safe places for that. And if I roamed like the streets, the same thing. Every single time I ended up becoming comfortable, I ended up figuring out somebody was going to murder me. But I didn't figure it out. I just felt it because the voices said I was going to have somebody murder me or somebody rape me. And it was going to be in a torturous way. Like somebody was following me, like an assassin was following me just to kill me off. I'm mostly here in my head, and then if I'm in a bedroom or a room, I hear them outside of my parameters. So it's just a little crazy. It's crazy how this works. So how else would I be? I'd be all over the place. You tell me something, you talk to me. I don't believe that outside voice. I believe that, I believe the inside voice, and the inside voice is kind of like this whisper that tells the truth, but it doesn't tell the truth. And it's just crazy how this ends up going. It sounds so, how I'm putting it, maybe I'm minimizing, more than I should, but I get angry. I cut my hair. I pulled a Britney Spears. Sorry, Britney Spears. I understand what you were going through now. But yeah, I ended up shaving my head. I thought my hair was out to kill me, so I shaved it off. And this is the product of an episode that happened a couple months ago. But what is that noise? Sorry, I was trying to figure out the noise. I'm gonna say now that I love myself and I love life. So I'm not I'm not unhappy, I guess I should say. But it really depends on the chemicals that happen with my body. And I'm just wondering, how do I live a life where my body and the chemicals don't match up with who I am? And it's really hard to figure out how to be myself with the medication either being too high for a depression or too low for a depression, and just doesn't work properly. So far it has. I was sad last week and was extremely depressed, and I just didn't want to do anything. And then all of a sudden it clicked. The next day I was like, I have to clean my room. I have to, decorate my room. And so I've been decorating my room from all these, what do you call it? They're all drawings I ended up making when I was schizophrenic. Let me show you one. This is one. I don't know, a whale. Is that like a lion? I can't remember what I did, but that's one. I have that hanging on my phone, on my laptop, not my laptop, my wall. And it's just been kind of a weird ride. Um, Definitely weird. The voices, they're sometimes good. The voices are sometimes bad. Sometimes they're evil. But most of all, they're tricksters. They just basically say I did something and I thought I completed something and I was going to be safe and sound, or like, no, you didn't complete it in time. And I'm just like, what do you mean I didn't? I didn't even know it was timed, or it was past the time because I don't know the rules, or I would know the truth automatically, and it's just weird. Um, yeah, like right now with with medication I'm on now, I don't hear anything, but I do see stuff at the corner of my eyes. It's crazy. It's a little weird, but once I center it, I don't see anything. So I'm gonna talk to my psychiatrist about that tomorrow. But that's what happened in between um, the previous diary post to now. It's really about finding the right medication. And I thought I had the right medication. And I was taking my pills, and all of a sudden I had a mental breakdown, uh, even with my pills. And that, scares me quite a bit, because I'm kind of wondering, what is my limit? There has to be a limit, because I wasn't eating well, and I was trying to be vegan. And I guess my food intake wasn't as high as I'd like. And I was running. I was at this organization where people with mental illnesses can be, and I was putting too much on my plate by trying to help them because I want to be a therapist. And I realized I don't want to be a therapist anymore. I don't think I'd be good for therapy because it's just too stressful. And you know, apparently with schizoaffectives, you kind of have to have a good balance of a job that will help you and then not be too stressful. Um, I have no clue what jobs are out there, but if you do know, please put in the comments, because I'm really trying to look for, no, not look for a job, but just tell me what type of careers there could be with somebody that has schizoaffective disorder. One was graphic design, and I think I kind of like that. Um, I'm gonna look more into graphic design, but I don't think I want to do graphic design. I think I want to, I don't know if this is graphic design. I have to look it up more because I'm not really literate in the vocabulary of terminology for graphic design in general. I might be using that word wrong, so sorry. Um, and I would love to, just learn. I did go to two computer science classes, and I miraculously made it to Cal 3. I don't know how I made it to Cal 3, but I did. And what do you call it? Yeah. I stopped going for computer science though, and I went for psychology to be a therapist. So I have my psychology associates, but I don't have my bachelor's. And now I'm not even going to go into psychology because it'll be too stressful, and I probably have a mental breakdown, and I don't want that. So I'm still trying to find my boundaries when it arrives to work. And this isn't as fun. Like, maybe I get on, SSI, but SSI is only so much. Like, I don't think that's gonna be enough for me to survive. I'm really grateful, and I'm really blessed to have my dad who says I could live here. He's telling me to take a break for a year to kind of reconcile myself, and they use that word, right? To put myself together, put the puzzle that's been waiting for, a few months to finally finish it and connect the edges to see to see the parameter more, to see where I should go with baby steps, and then in the end have big steps to be, the person I want to be, the person I need to be, the person that enjoys doing whatever she enjoys. And that to be in so many different directions, because with puzzle pieces, it's not like you find them in a linear way. It's more of a abstract, right? maybe I should do that. Just get a get a get a piece of paper and try to um, draw the outlines of where the puzzle pieces are on compared to the edges being done. Because I always do the edges first and then in the middle. So, but I leave puzzles in the middle sometimes. So maybe that's something to think about. Maybe I should do that. I don't think I have big enough paper. I just have 8 by 10, or is it 11? It's probably 11. So that would be fun, a fun little project. I'm just going to focus on arts. I'm not joking. I'm just going to focus on arts to get better and see if there's anything that pops up career-wise while I'm working. I thought medical coding, and I might go that route. I don't know. But we'll see how October goes, or winter goes. Winter is typically my worst when it arrives to, um, when it arrives to, when it comes to my mental illness, because I tend to just go off my rockers. My marbles fall out, and each time it's kind of the same. Winter's the most where I get when I go to the hospital. I end up getting something ends up happening, and I have to go to the hospital. So fingers crossed that I don't have to. Um, what else happens? I can become violent because of rape or murder. So when the voices decide to target one of my family members to be the murderer or rapist, I can get violent because I'm trying to fight my life, but really I'm not. And I'm really grateful. I should be extremely grateful that my family's still there for me, even though I have been kind of violent, and they understand that it's my mental illness and it's not something that I've been doing. No, okay. Well, I have tried drugs. I've tried marijuana. That was like the only thing that I've tried, and yeah. And here I am, schizoaffective. Uh, there's probably a huge difference between the previous videos to now, because I'm pretty sure I'm a little bit more happier, but I'm happy now too. It's just in a slower manner. I feel like I can relax. When I was with the other videos, it was when I had a different medication. And in this medication, I really like, because I'm figuring myself out more. I'm figuring myself out with my body more, because once that happens, it's crazy, because the last episode I had, they were trying to take away parts of my body. So my hands were gone, my fingers were gone, my arm was gone, my elbow was gone, my shoulder. It wasn't me anymore. They were saying that the property belongs to somebody else, and they would say property, or it belongs to us according to a contract, or you failed because you didn't complete a puzzle in time. And the puzzle wasn't even anything. It was just you had to move to find something, or I didn't know that there was something like that going on. And they'd be like, oh, well, it's your past life. Your past life agreed to this. You have an agreement and in a contract. And I'm like, what was the contract say? And then they'll be like, well, here it is. Oh, yeah, you can't read it because that's part of the contract, or something like that. And it's just really weird. And, I apologize. Sometimes I might get a little manic about this. Um, and not the storylines, just talking in general, or uh, kind of being a little preachy. I love God. I'm not gonna lie. I see the beauty in God everywhere, and so if I get preachy with that, it isn't because of my mental illness. It's just because I'm manic. And if you don't know the difference, you're thinking, well, you're manic and you're reciting the Bible. I love God, therefore it was God that made you get made the episode worse. But this isn't why we for that. It'd be more like, why are we focusing on one thing when we can focus on other things as well? Because I hear voices and they say they're taking apart my body. I don't think that's very godly. Maybe for the devil would be a god, wouldn't he? Or whoever controls hell. But yeah, it's just a crazy day. I don't know what this is. This is in my bag. Is it supposed to be a magnet? I put it on. That was bad. Oh, more comes out. That's interesting. It's not a pop socket thing. No. Oh wait, can I take this off? No, I can't. Um, um, yeah, that's just all the other stuff. I realized when I was in the mental hospital, I could really kill someone. I could really murder someone, and I really need to stop. I need to stop and just take my medication and calm down. And if a medication doesn't work again, even though I'm taking it, then I'll just talk to a psychiatrist or go to the hospital. And I've gone to the hospital so much in the past 6 months. It's crazy how much I ended up going to the hospital. And to be honest, I still love life. I have this mental condition that that it's bad. I mean, I have this mental condition and people think it's bad. And, I've heard stories, not stories, I've heard apologies like, oh, I'm sorry that you have that. But once the medication kicks in more, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be better. I can't, I know there's going to be some medication that's going to make me better. There isn't any. I have hope. I could say I have a lot of hope that there is medication that can make me better. And I love the fact that I have hope. I believe I'm a resilient person, and, I just need time to relax and time to kind of not get over, but heal myself from the traumas that have been healed to me. And I can finally do that because I'm in a better state to do that and get better. You know, so if you're watching this, don't pity me. Don't have empathy. That's fine, but don't pity me. It's not sad. I believe, once again, I believe in God. So whenever I die, and I'm going to meet him. And my judgment is going to be either hell, purgatory, or heaven. And, we'll see where I end up going. But I have hope for myself. I do feel bad, though, for other people who don't have a good support system. I feel bad and kind of worry because, I know what it's like to be, I know what it's like with a schizoaffective behavior episode, and it's no fun. Yeah, like right now I'm trying to remember. So if I stop and say weird things, I'm still trying to figure myself out because my brain is kind of like, what is happening? And you've been not so great to me for, quite a few months, and you've been all over the place. And, why haven't you been healing yourself? And, it took a couple of months to heal myself again, but I'm pretty sure this medication is going to be, the last. I like the combination. Just to let everybody know, I'm taking Uzedy, Boost Bar, and Cymbalta. Cymbalta for antidepressant, Boost Bar for anti-anxiety, and what was it called? Oh, Uzedy for the antipsychosis stuff. But it's hard. It's a hardship. You have to see it in a certain way. You have to be okay with going back to the past and, reliving those moments and, feeling either healing from them and finally closing the door and letting them be far away. And by far away, they disappear because you healed from them. Or you could leave them open and just always continue thinking about, who you wronged or who wronged you, and, why did you let whatever it was happen, and, why did there have to be quietness? Like if somebody else ended up seeing something happen between two people and they were like, or 3 people or 4 people, whatever it is, an argument, like somebody hit somebody and they keep quiet about it. Those are harsh. I had secrets, and my mom saw some. They have bad secrets, and she wasn't really there for me, but I still forgive her. I believe she didn't know what to do, but yeah, I still forgive her. I see it's about kind of forgiving the self. And if you forgive yourself and you feel like you can't forgive the other person, then as long as you understand in certain situations, it's not about what they've done or what you've done, it's about the action. And if you think that action is never okay or whatever, then you kind of heal. Well, you heal if you realize it was never your fault, right? And if it was your fault, you realize it is your fault and you need to make amends by contacting them. And if they don't want to answer, they don't want to answer. You have to, realize I've gotten through this, I've gotten better. And if you really dislike the thing that you did, then, and they don't want to listen, then that's all you can do. You have to live with that. We always have to live with our mistakes, our choices. We always have to live with our choices, whether it's a mistake or not a mistake. We always have to live with them. And you have to be okay with living with the choices, even if, somebody forced you into your own choice, or you did a choice and you realized later you didn't like it. If somebody hurt you, if you didn't hurt anybody, but you were just kind of like, maybe this is the wrong thing anyways. Or if you pick a tile and you're like, dang it, I can't, I hate this tile piece and I hate how the floor looks now. It looked better in my mind, but now it's worse and you paid all this money and you have to deal with it. You have to deal with your choices. It could be good choices, bad choices, excellent choices, mundane choices, just choices who are extremely bad, because in whatever actions or whatever scenes or whatever conversations you have throughout life, it's still your choice. And that's really crazy. It's still your choice. Everything, when you think about it, when you step right, that's a choice. When you step left, that's a choice. When you think of going to the market, that's a choice. When you think of stealing, that's a choice. When you think of paying, that's a choice. How you interact with, the cashier, that's a choice. Every direction you go is a choice. And when you're schizoaffective or majorly depressed, or what's it called? Something depression. I forgot. I think I'm the one that have it. That has it. And those choices are kind of out for us, I think. No, it's still a choice. I would say depending on no, it's actually a choice. So I retract what I said. It is a choice. It's just a weird choice because your choices are kind of absurd and obscure because people don't know what they're saying in your head. That's kind of like, I wasn't thinking of this exactly, but it still goes back to, in my episodes, I could murder someone. Or if I was drunk, I could murder someone because I was an alcoholic for a bit. And I want to not hurt anyone anymore by yelling. I mostly yell at people. How much longer? Oh, it's already 29 minutes. I leave these at 30. Okay, well, no, I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe we'll have another video, or maybe we'll talk longer. I don't want to talk longer. Maybe something else will pop up, but this is what I want right now. Okay, was that talking? Well, I hope you haven't listened to this, and if you have, I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, have a great day.